Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles, and to the Akim Akwath, Grippenstone, holding on in sincerity and truth to the testament of the Lord and Mashiach Yahushai. This Brahmanasha DC Camp, short lesson for the hopeful elect. Another reminder. Yeah, so since we're in the so-called nuclear age, that's the highest level of weaponry that Esau's able to achieve. It's just going to be mind-boggling for a lot of people to understand that this is written in prophecy. The Lord already spoke about these things happening, and the men of the Lord believe. We believe, therefore we shall speak about it. So it's the Spirit of the Lord that motivates Akim, as well as the Akwath, to always bring up this topic of nuclear weapons, man. Because this is exactly what the Lord has put into the hands of Edom to bring about his own demise, all right? So you won't be surprised, man, how much more you're going to understand about the scriptures when the Lord pours out his spirit. You'll be extremely surprised, So not to talk too much, I'm just going to get a quick precept, because the knowledge of the elements is something that you have to be aware of, man. That's why in the ancient times, you had physicians that knew how to manage the elements that they get from all these plants, and how they understand its purposes, and they knew that carbon had different states of how I say it, of different physical structures that they could be used to form. You had diamond, you had charcoal, and all that stuff, man. And they know that there's certain things you're not supposed to do, with carbon, and even nitrogen. They knew about that, even the so-called methane. They knew about all those stuff back then. They knew that certain things you don't play around with, So that's why the Lord, gave us laws, statutes, and commandments to learn how to govern ourselves, So I'll get a quick precept from the book of Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. I'm going to start from, we'll get to the point in verse 17. For he had given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely, to know how the world was made and the operation of the elements. All right. So just the periodic table. It's not just something you just take a glance at and just think, it's just something easy to understand, but it's really complicated, and that's why you have these so-called nuclear scientists digging and digging and digging, doing all types of research to figure out what they can do with different atoms and neutrons and protons and electrons and all that stuff, and how they combine, elements together, compounds together, smashing different atoms together and see the reaction. Yeah, so they do all that stuff, and the government pays a lot of money. It's the reason why you have the Department of Energy. What are they studying? That's the big question. Department of Energy. What do you think they are doing there? You know, what type of research are they funding, and what type of information have they been able to gather so far? So, you know, when they talk about the Department of Energy, they're basically dealing with elements, you know, the elements. Yeah, so you just have to be aware, man, that the Lord put His knowledge out there, and He's the one that's dishing it out, distributing it to these different scientists to bring His will to pass. All right. So get this precept from the book of Job. It's just according to the Most High's plan. All right. It's according to the Lord's plan, and there is no resisting the Lord's plan. You know, it's just that clear. So the book of Job, chapter 33, I'll read from verse 14 all the way to 17. It says, "For the Most High speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth it not. In a dream, in the vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, in slumberings upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction, that he may withdraw man from his purpose, and hide pride from man." So it's the Lord's plan that certain things take place. It goes all along with prophecy. There's nothing that deviates from the prophecy of the Lord. All right. So the Lord has already set things in motion, and I mean, who is He that can alter it? You know, the Lord has set things on the timeline. All right. So there's nothing these so-called scientists can do to alter that, man. All that idea of time traveling is just their imagination. You know, they don't have that authority, and that way they're given that capability to do that. You know, it's just some fiction that they think they could always bring into reality. All right, so the Lord is not going to let them have access to that type of knowledge, because the Lord is pushing things into the future. You know, prophecy to push forward. You know, the Lord is not about going backwards, man. He has to set things on the proper path forward. So you got to be excited about that, man, because our captivity is almost over. You know, our salvation is around the corner, and the elite are upset, you know. So you just have to be happy about how the Lord has set things in motion. You know, you may not be happy about catching hell, but at least you should be happy about being delivered. You know, and that's what motivates the men of the Lord. You know, that hope of being delivered from our ridicule and shame and oppression. You know, in this bitter world, this bitter society. You know, a world of unrighteousness. All right. So you're going to read from the book of Isaiah, chapter 54. All right, Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. It says this: "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire." Now, what's he doing? He's trying to bring up an instrument, you know, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. So all these nuclear tests, you know, to see the type of pattern the weapon will generate is all according to the Lord's plan. You know, you see all these tests, they collect the data, they measure the level of radiation in the environment, you know, the footprint, you know, the bright, let's just say brightness, the intensity of the light giving off and all that stuff. You know, they take so many measurements, man. They measure so much stuff that, you know, by the time you look at their report, they'll be like, wow. You know, they plug all that stuff into the computer and they build another type of weapon, you know. So that's what they do. They have to keep on searching and searching and searching All right. That's why the Lord says that they perform a diligent search. All right. So, what do you expect? You've seen the damage that nuclear weapons do to the environment. So you just gotta pray the Lord delivers us in these last days, man, because it's gonna be chaotic, man. And don't be surprised that on the so-called black market, you have nuclear weapons just moving around from one corner of the earth to the other. So you just gotta be aware, man, that there's gonna be some terrible times in these last days, man. You know, folks just smuggling stuff back and forth. Corporations working both ends, working the black market and also working with government and all that stuff. So it's crazy. You just gotta be aware of the serious times we're living in. All right. So the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, verse 5, it also tells you about how this, well, let's see, about this war, this World War III. It gives you a quick glimpse what these soldiers have been dealing with. So it says in verse 5, 5, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise. Yeah, so the ancient way of fighting battles is, you get face to face, hand to hand, weapon for weapon, all that stuff, man. That's how you prove your manliness on the battlefield, all right? So, but now, what's going to happen? It says, and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be burning and fuel of fire, all right? So it's going to be chaotic, much more chaotic than World War One and World War Two. In fact, than any other war upon the face of the earth. Never has such a war ever has been fought. Arrows, nuclear missiles being launched from different ends of the earth to different targets. All right, and the scripture tells you that America is going to be the ultimate recipient of those of those launches, because the Lord is the one that's setting the stage for America, to be erased from off the face of the earth. So yeah, it's just the end of the Western civilization. That's exactly what this World War III signifies: the end of Western civilization at the hands of the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai. Because he has ushered in a new kingdom, the kingdom of righteousness, the kingdom of Israel. Edom, right? The children of Esau have had their time to rule, so it's time for Israel, the children of Jacob, to rule. So it's a beautiful experience, man. And these Edomites, man, they're not happy about it. But hey, it's part of the journey. You have to experience the sweet and the bitter, all right, just like we did, all right. So the book of Second Thessalonians, chapter 2, verse 7 and 8. It says, "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work, and only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way." So it's the Lord that put these things in motion and allowed these Edomites to run around the world, professing their superiority. And when the time is ripe, it's going to be taken down without hand, So it's just an experience you're going to be observing in these last days. You're going to see them losing their so-called influence over the people when the people begin to rise up against the ruling class. Then you know that the word of the Lord were on point. When people become much more, how you say, educated, They're able to process information the proper way, and they're able to build a solid decision, a solid response, and they no longer fall for the narrative anymore. I mean, that pisses off the government, the so-called mind controllers, and they will do whatever they can to sabotage, the cause of a people seeking redemption, seeking salvation, seeking freedom, true everlasting freedom. All right, so hey, you just gotta be glad that Lord Hamashiach Yahushai is preparing, to ensure that there's peace brought upon the world, especially for our people, the kingdom of Israel. All right, that's why we call Yahushai the Prince of Peace. So it's a good thing, man. It's nothing to be upset and worried about. The Lord has to set certain things in motion, and you just have to let it be. All right, you can't interrupt or interfere with it. All right, so let's see. And verse 8 says, "And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming." All right, so the brightness of the Lord is going to knock out this so-called power of darkness. The rulers of darkness in high places. They're about to be pushed out. The Lord's about to push them out, and they feel that vibration coming. That's why they keep attacking brothers' uploads, brothers' lessons, So it's just another day, man. Another day closer to our salvation. Another day closer to the downfall of the elites of this world. All right, the nation of Edom. All right, the nation of Ham, the nation of Ishmael. All right, the nation of Moab, Japheth, Ammon. Yeah. So you just have to wait patiently upon the Lord. And final precept will be from the book of Isaiah, chapter 24, verse 20. All right, it tells you clearly what these so-called nuclear weapons are capable of doing. All right, so it says, so verse 19: "The earth is utterly broken down, the earth is clean dissolved, the earth is moved exceedingly." So this is the only so-called weapon that has that capability of shaking the earth to its core. All right. Yep. Shaking the earth to its core. It's just going to be a crazy type of vibration. And it's not just one nuclear weapon will be going off on the face of the earth. So many types of nuclear weapons, will be launched. So you can imagine northwest, south, and east. Ooh wee, man. Yeah, scary. Scary sights. You don't want to be here upon the earth when this happens, man. This is what the Book of Revelation talks about. Seeing the whole atmosphere, the ozone layer of the earth, whole earth. The so-called sea of glass mingle with fire. Yeah. So they see that's the brightness, the burning, the heat of the nuclear weapons being radiated out around the whole earth. Yeah, so you just have to be ready, for salvation, man, because we're praying the Lord to get us out of here. All right, He is the only one that can deliver us from this crazy agenda. All right. And then verse 20 says, "The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cartage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again." Yeah, so the Western civilization is on its way out, all right? So, folks out there crying and yelling that the Queen passed on, like, it doesn't change anything. The Lord has to do what He has to do. Whoever is left holding the bag, hey, gets the rap, you know? And these Edomites are the ones holding the bag. So the Lord has to give them the ultimate judgment, all right? So that's why they don't have that line of salvation. They don't have any advocates, to plead their cause, all right? The Lord Mashiach Yahushai is not pleading for the cause of Edom. He's out here, out in the spiritual realm, pleading for the cause of the elect, the nation of Israel. The ones heard and the ones that will be saved, that are spread out throughout the four corners of the earth. That's why Yahushua is our intercessor. So that's the point that I came. You just have to be prayerful. That's how you get delivered in these last days and times. And, just hold on. Hold on. That's what I could tell you to do. Just hold on to the faith in the Lord, the Mashiach Yahushai, by Shemukah Kadash. Shalom.